Snake Draft, an animal fantasy football simulator, is available to play for free on itch. I'm going to put the link in the description. Check it out. See what you think. Let me know what you think. Enjoy it. Love it. Win a championship. Draft your favorite animals. Find cute ones. Find ones you hate because they defeated you. And enjoy. Hello and welcome to Taco Town. I'm Leo, aka a Papa Taco. Been a long time since I made a video. I haven't been playing Magic the Gathering, which is what most of my videos used to be about. This video is going to be completely different. Instead of playing Magic the Gathering, I've been trying to make a video game, and I've made a video game. So this is Snake Draft, an animal fantasy football simulator, and basically kind of the starting off point for this idea was just that I liked to draft in Magic, and I just wanted a game where you would draft and you could quickly do a draft and jump into a run, kind of like a roguelike type thing. And then I kind of just, while thinking through it, realized that fantasy football was my other real big passion, and so I just really went off with that, and this is kind of the product of those original ideas I was having at that time. So I'll show off the game a little bit. Oh, let me go back here real quick. So I'm working on two different game modes. The one I'm going to show today is the fantasy season, which is just a regular fantasy football sim, very much in line with what you might experience if you did an actual fantasy football league. So it's very much modeled on that type of experience and that type of balance. Guillotine Drive is going to be a roguelike mode that strips away a bit of the upfront drafting. It'll kind of make you draft a tiny little team, but then what happens is after you defeat an opponent, you kill them and take one of their players and absorb them into your team. And so you progressively grow more powerful as you go up the field. And it's like a 10-match run. And if you lose, I'm giving you 1 life extra. And then you can try again. But if you lose twice, then that's game over. And that's the end of the run, like a roguelike. And then I'm designing spells and artifacts and various things that can help turn the tide in your favor. But yeah, so that should be like the roguelike experience, and this is going to be regular football. I'm going to turn off draft tips. This kind of explains kind of the systems of the game and gives you some advice about like why a player might be good. But I'll do that myself. I'll just speak out loud, and I wrote the draft tips. I can say them out loud. I might miss things, but that's part of the experience. I'm gonna go on rookie mode. It's a short season, just 6 weeks. We'll start small here. All Pro is kind of the most balanced difficulty. It has the full experience with events and injuries. So there's a lot more action that happens here. Rookie's almost like draft and then just set your lineup for a few weeks and set it and forget it almost. But yeah, we'll do that. All of this is pixel art that I've been working on. I've been trying to learn how to draw pixel art. This is my dog Dino. You know Gary from the old Magic streams. This is Gary's cat. And I've been using Aseprite to make the pixel art, and then I've been using Godot to code the game. And yeah, here's the draft board. I'm gonna hide my face. And so this is a 4-manager league, so we've got the bots here: newbie manager Sam, newbie manager TJ, AJ, RJ. Then this is me, the Fanimals in yellow, and then newbie manager Leo. That's not me. That's a bot. We'll start the draft. They took running back, quarterback. We have the 3rd pick here. I think I might just go. So if we're talking real fantasy, if you're in a smaller league, you know, typically you're not in a league with 4 teams like this. But if you're in like an 8-team league or something like that, getting the top tier quarterback is actually a pretty powerful tool. because if the quarterbacks, look how far they drop off actually here. The leagues are kind of randomly generated, so you'll get a different assortment of dudes. Here they had an 86. We've got a 98 here, but then it goes to 60s, 40s, 30s. So there's a massive drop off. So that's the reason why I think I want to just take Josh Stallion here. He's a super talented guy. He leveled up in preseason. That's like a random event that can happen. Josh Stallion has leveled up at camp. The reporters say Josh Stallion has looked sharp throughout Magician's training camp, and he went from a 91 to a 98. Big boost. That the amount they level up is a little bit random, but he got the really high end of the randomness there. So I'm probably going to start there with the quarterback, lock in our starter. And then look, they also have two awesome receivers. So this is honestly probably going to be easy mode with such a good quarterback with two strong receivers. That's part of the system of the game and real life. Your quarterback, in order to succeed, oftentimes will need good receivers. Let's see how Cool Air was doing over here. Yeah, so I don't know. The AI, I kind of programmed the AI to be a little bit dumb. They don't really look into and think of all of these things that the human player is supposed to. That's the thing about fantasy football is you can make some good decisions to put yourself in a better position to win. But even if you do, there's always luck involved. In this game, that's your edge though, is you're thinking and the bots aren't really thinking. The bots are picking based on just who the top 3 guys are at the time of their pick and what position they need. So like this guy won't draft a quarterback next because he's already, or they, TJ, AJ, RJ. I don't want to assume TJ, AJ, RJ's gender. This manager is already locked in at quarterback. Speedy McGee's on a run-based team, and they're a running back. They have a good offense. I think we'll go with Speedy here. And then running back kind of falls off pretty quick too. So we got 280s and then we're down to the 60s. Wide receiver. We've got an extra 80 over here that we might get on the way back. So we want to take running back before they run out. Yep, and we still got 2 good receivers here. Let's see. This guy's on a run-heavy team, though, and he's got a bad quarterback. 38, that's very bad. 40, not much better. I might not take either of these receivers. I might try to look for a better receiver late. So let's see. Josh. Yeah, Josh to Dino Dogfuel might be it. Again, Dino Dogfuel is based on my dog. Oh, that's fun. The players are randomly assigned, and this time they put the 2 brothers on the team. I made these 2 brothers, Mike and Jeffrey Powers. There are a couple of drafts. And I just randomly put them on the same team. There's a few things like that where like Cool Air is always going to be the quarterback for the pilots. That's hard-coded. But for the most part, most players are randomly assigned every time you start a run. So that's part of the game is you look at where the guys are, you look at who their teammates are, you try to figure out where the good matchups are, the good matchups, by which I mean like matching your quarterback with your receiver, that type of thing. There is also matchups in the game where you want to play against easy defenses versus not playing against tough defenses. All right, I got 1 receiver, 1 running back, 1 quarterback, so I need another running back and a receiver. Track Starling on a pass-heavy team. No. Oh, Buzz might be good. Yeah, look, Buzz is a running back, but he has a good quarterback. He's on a pass-heavy team, and I added this recently. You can see that they're a receiving back. They catch passes as well because he has the little blue outline around his chip, and that's because he's a receiving back. That gives him a receiving role on the team. More of their production comes as a pass catcher. So I might take Buzz here. Let me see. Let me just see how far down their ADP is 29. That's average draft position. So I can wait. They're coming later. They seem like they'll be a good pick that I can get in a round or 2. I already looked at these receivers and I didn't want them because their quarterbacks suck. Yeah, this guy might just be able to overcome his bad quarterback play potentially. I'll take him. He's an 88 overall, one of the highest, but he can definitely bust. Bill Bust Bets. Bill Bust Bets. RB2. I already have the number 1 on the team. Sometimes there's enough to go around. This also seems like a good offense. I mean, they've got all 5 of their starters here are pretty high up there, so I might take him. Yeah, I'm gonna. If it doesn't work out, no worries. And then I'll go ahead and get Buzz here. Buzz should have a safe floor. Receiving backs will usually catch a few passes each game. The scoring here gives you a point per catch. Here's receptions, plus 1 point. So when you have a receiving back, even if they don't have a big game, they'll usually rack up a couple points. All right, last pick. I'll just get a rookie. Sometimes rookies level up faster. It's kind of random. They have a hidden potential stat. Some rookies will kind of blow up, and other ones will just suck. But you know, if you get one of those guys that blows up, then a rookie is a nice little lottery ticket. High variance with room to grow, it says in the tooltip. All right, and then the gameplay. The gameplay is like real fantasy football. You set your lineup, and then you hope your guys play well. Did I only drafted 2 receivers. Interesting. Let's see if any of these receivers are good. Slot Rat. Slot Rat might be good. Number 1 or 2 receiver on the team with Buzz there. Okay, I might just add this guy and drop one of my running backs. Yeah, I'll drop my rookie I was talking up. And so this is basically watching the games unfold. You see your highlight plays pop on the left. See Josh Stallion went off to a great start. He's got 5 touchdowns. You can see when their traits trigger. So Chaser El Tigre has a complete receiver trait, and that allowed them to score a 26-yard touchdown in the game for 9.6 fantasy points. And you can see the receiving back, he had a big one, 45 yards, catches everything out of the backfield, so that triggered. These are random procs that can happen, and there's different things that can increase their probabilities and stuff, but at a baseline, these guys just have a chance to make plays because of their traits, and so this added an extra big reception here. And we won. And then this is fun, you can do this. Huh? I don't know if there's any way to fill your screen completely until your game crashes. I haven't been able to achieve that yet. Oh, nice. That's pretty rare to gain a trait on a level up. So now Buzz is almost like a pseudo receiver. So not only is he the running back and a receiving back, he also has this new trait called Chain Mover. Chain Mover in football is someone who goes out and gets first downs, usually running out 5, 6, 7, 8 yards to pick up the first downs and just keeps moving the chains. And so now Buzz Satellite McFly here will be doing that more often. You can see in this first game, they had 9 targets for 9 catches and 146 yards, which is pretty ludicrous for a running back, and I think that should only continue now that we have Chain Mover. Josh Stallion, deservedly so, leveled up. Basically, it's based on performance. If you score a lot of points, you're more likely to level up. It's not guaranteed, but you can see Josh scored 50. Buzzy scored 33. And they both leveled up. And then you can start to see now that these things are turning red and green or gray. This is how tough the defense has been so far, based on how many points they give up to the position. I'm probably going to keep Buzzy in, or Buzz. I have another player named Buzzy, because they do have this chain movers right now. Even though the Welders are the #1 defense against running backs, it's too early to really rely on that, so we'll just roll with it. Because the they only have 1 week of data, so it could be a fluke, you know, very small sample size. They might say they're the toughest defense, but maybe they just played against bad running backs or something, you know? Uh-oh. Okay. That was a close one. Speedy did good. Speedy had 3 touchdowns. Their speedster trait triggered for a 41-yard run. It wasn't a touchdown, but it was still a nice 4.1 point chunk play. Oftentimes, too, there's like the idea of the red zone, you know, when you're close to the 20-yard line. A lot of times, if you get a big play like this, it'll give their team an extra red zone opportunity. So it's very possible. I don't have the play-by-play, but it's very possible this 41-yard line got them into the red zone, and then this 7-yard run was them punching it in. So they might have gotten stopped a little short, and then they punched it in right here. Seems very likely. This could have been on a totally different drive. The sense of time here is a little bit warped. I don't know if from here to here was a few seconds or a whole quarter. And then at the end of the game, they also picked up a 15-yard touchdown catch. And Josh is cruising. Could reach the level 5 cap pretty early in the season. I think I said during the draft that we might have easy mode because we've got a super quarterback with 2 good receivers. And I think that might prove to be true. Well, how did Buzz do last week, even though they were up against a tough defense? Yeah, they did okay. 17 points. Again, just big target hog on the team. 6 catches, 80 yards. Pretty good. Yeah, that was more than our number 1 receiver. 4 catches, 62 yards. Yeah, I think I'm just going to keep rolling with Buzz. Even though these are tough defensive matchups, I think Buzz is just so safe with all this receiving work they're going to get that I don't want to bench them. Even in a bad game, they should catch at least, 3 balls or so, and that's going to give you points. How's our dog doing? Oh yeah, cool. Dog's the number 2 receiver in the league. Been scoring over 30 points each game. Very good. Yeah, like I was saying earlier when I drafted this guy, their quarterback sucks. I was hoping he could overcome it. But you can see he's been catching balls at like 50% catch rate, or sub 50%. And that's because of the bad quarterback play, I assume. And some bad luck, maybe, some randomness to whether a guy catches the ball or not. Oh, and then something popped on my side that I can show you. All right, we still win. Their teammates can help the quarterback, and vice versa. Quarterback can help their teammates. You can see here Sierra and Dama's complete receiver trait triggered, and that allowed my quarterback to take advantage of that and score a 22-yard touchdown pass. I'm noticing Josh Stallion's ears now, or it's kind of like a dab. You guys still dabbing out there? I'm doing a dab now when my camera's off, but you can see it. It's right here. It's in the ears. Dino had a great game. Oh, I forgot that Dino is on the same team as Josh Stallion. So you can see these are stacks. When the quarterback throws the touchdown to the receiver and they're both on your team, you'll get both of the scores. So that's a double touchdown for our team. So that's a strategy that people use in fantasy football because it just kind of increase your boom plays. You want to have big weeks so that you can win. And so one way to get more big weeks is to stack your receiver and your quarterback together. I forgot they were on the same team, but then, they have the same jersey. That's what reminded me. You can see them with their little magician's outfit. The bus over here is doing pretty good. 26 points, 26 attempts, 125 yards. They're on the same team as Speedy, so they got more running work than Speedy. Curious. I think Speedy is the number 6 running back, and the bus is the number 7. So they're pretty equal. The team's been distributing carries because their talent, I think, is pretty similar. Yeah, they've got a workhorse role too, which means they'll run the ball more. But that just tells me, sometimes I should start the bus. All right, just roll it. We're almost toward the end of the season. We've already pretty much guaranteed we'll make it to the playoffs, even if we lose the next few games, which we might right here. Their quarterback's kind of going off here. On their receiver is my quarterback's receiver, so even when he threw the touchdown, this guy caught them, so they got more points. Oh, we lost by 0.7. That's too bad. That's just the bad breaks. But Josh Stallion has reached peak potential. Gunslinger, they're going to target the ceiling targets more often, which I think might benefit Oxen more than the dog, because Gunslingers throw to the high ceiling receivers more. Sierra and Dama has a 33, and Dino Dogfield I think is going to be lower. Yeah, 29. So that might nerf Dino a little bit. Hopefully not too much. Well, Dino's on a tough matchup, but so is Slot Rat Sam, so nothing we can do. We're just rolling it. After this is going to be the playoffs. In rookie mode, the playoffs is just the top 2 teams play in a championship match. Buzz McFly having another touchdown catch. Very good. Oh, Slot Rat did blow up, actually. Wow. So Chasers kind of sucked. Probably going to bench him. Wonder why. Yeah, no, we already know why. I already talked about why. It's because their quarterback sucks. And they're on a run-heavy team, so the volume's low. Squeeps is probably not throwing the ball very much. Let's see. Squeeps has thrown the ball 132 times. Let's look at our quarterback. Yeah, 184 times. When you throw the ball, 33% less, that means your receivers have 33% fewer opportunities. That's the difference between having a good quarterback and a bad quarterback. This is the championship. Our matchup is against the D-State, TJ, AJ, RJ, the only team that has beaten us, so that's a rough pool. I am going to bench Chaser El Tigre for Slot Rat Sam against the Crash Test Dummies, which are the worst defense. I in the data, I did make it so Crash Test Dummies are like the punching bag of the league. They tend to roll worse defenses than every other team, and you can see that here. This is an 8-team league right now. You can look over here. It says 8 teams. So when they're rank 8, that means they're last place in quarterback, last place in receiver, and second to last place in running back. And so we have Buzz and Slot Rat going up against them. However, so is the opponent quarterback. So that's a tough match up for us. And then we have the worst, aka the worst matchup, the best defense against quarterbacks, the Lumberjacks, against our quarterback. So that means Josh Stallion is going up against the toughest defense. That also looks like it should slow down their receiver. So that should kind of be a bit of a tie break. Or not a tie break, that should just be a bit of a tie. And so we're hoping that if Steve throws a ton of touchdowns, they don't go to Lacking Lobster Leo, and instead they go to my 2 receivers, Buzz McFly and Slot Rat Sam. Yeah. Let's go ahead and see if we win the championship. Oh, and a touchdown run, that's even better. But look, you can see the stack here. Well, whatever the opposite of the stack is. Okay, Dino pulled through with 2 giant touchdowns. Josh Stallion, against the toughest defense, doesn't care, goes berserker mode over here and scores 6 touchdowns. I did say that it looked like having Josh would be easy mode, and I think I was right. Yeah, so that's it. I'm the champion, 5-1 record. We can also go over here. There's a full stat system. We can look at every position. Josh Stallion was the #1 quarterback by a mile. He was the only one who reached level 5. The second highest was level 3. Yeah, and again, the reason why is because they're on a team with just excellent receivers and an excellent quarterback. Sometimes that would be Steve, but in this case, Steve had pretty mediocre receiving weapons. And so for this season, Josh Stallion was the pick at quarterback. For running backs, Buzz, remember I kind of pointed out Buzz as a late round value, and it worked out. RB2 on the season. Colonel Mustardson and King Hardy were definitely first round picks. I don't remember the exact round where I drafted Buzz. Actually, my son was playing this game and said, I want to see what round I drafted guys in. So I'll add that right here. Look, it kind of will fit. It'll say on your team, and then it could say drafted with pick number 3 of the 6th round or whatever. That's actually a nice place where it could fit pretty naturally. And I'm just so proud that my son requested that, because that's a nerdy little feature I would want. Because yeah, I'm curious, like, what round did I get Buzz? Because I know it was later. I don't quite remember, but that's partially why we won the league. Was we had super busted quarterback Josh Stallion who went nuclear, but then we also got the second best running back, and we got them with a late round pick, because every other running back around, these were all up to number 7. I bet these were all taken in the first 2 or 3 rounds. And then Dino pulled through as wide receiver 2. Slot Rat Sam punched above their weight. Look, they're overall 46, but they were a wide receiver, the fifth best wide receiver. And again, that's team context. Their quarterback is awesome, a 99 overall, and they're a top receiver on their team. So both of these guys are Buzz and Slot Rat Sam. Buzz as a receiving back, Slot Rat Sam as the receiver. And so that's something you look for, is you look for the good quarterbacks, you look for who the receivers are. And vice versa, you look for the good quarterbacks who have good receivers. And yeah, I mean, I could show you a few more things, but I think we'll wrap up there. Just wanted to look at Buzz real quick one more time. Let's look at how they did as a receiver compared to receivers. So Buzz, if you look at all the ranks, was the only running back here in like the top 15 receivers. They were able to pull in 500 yards in just 6 games. So what's that? 90 yards a game or something? I don't know. I'm not a math magician. And I wonder if after the chain mover, if they started catching more passes. Not a ton more, but ideally it made them more consistent as a receiver. Okay. Well, so the game is available to play for free on itch.io. I'm going to put the link in the description. If this seemed interesting to you, I would love it if you could give it a try. If you love fantasy football, this game is for you. If you don't know much about fantasy football, I hope you can, learn a little bit about it and get into it and enjoy it. I will be updating the game regularly. By next month, I should have the guillotine mode up and running. And so if you're more interested in a roguelike, you could check that out. I'll make a video about that when it's released. This game is a game that I really enjoy playing. I really enjoy making. I'm hoping there's some people out there who are big nerds like me, who like to draft, who like to look at numbers, who like to, do those things, who could find this game and enjoy it as well. I know this isn't like a game for everybody or a niche experience, but I hope maybe you watching this video might be in that niche. Check the game out and have fun. And that's the end of the video. Thank you all for watching. This has been a magical night.